I don't even know where to begin. So I'll tell the story. Late Friday night, as obviously I'm in Orlando, Florida, doing the Disney College program. It's been an absolute blast so far. I've enjoyed every second of it. But I get home. Actually, I my shift ends 9:15. I go out and get a late night dinner. I get a big pizza from this local joint here. Delicious. Got some ice cream as like a special treat. I'm like, you know what? It was Saturday night. I apologize. Saturday night. I'm like, yeah, this is good. You know, kind of a cheat day. It is what it is. It happens. We all should get one every once in a while. Get back to my apartment sometime around midnight. Starting to wind down. Gonna take a shower, go to bed, all that. And then I see this on my phone. The Shams tweet, which by the way, some people call him Shams. If he pronounces his name Shams, we're gonna call it a Sham Slam. Remember Woj bombs? Sham Slam. Putting that out there right off the bat. But this is breaking news. Luka Doncic, the Dallas Mavericks trade Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick. Sources tell ESPN a three-team deal includes Utah. And it's funny, Shams then puts the second tweet. Yes, this is real, sources tell ESPN. He gives you the full trade breakdown. And when I see that, certainly the second tweet, I actually thought kind of reinforced this. The first tweet comes across, and I'm thinking, oh, Shams got hacked. Like Shams, this doesn't happen. There have been no inklings, no rumors, no anything that would even slightly indicate that Luka Doncic's future with the Dallas Mavericks was somehow in jeopardy. That was never on the board. And then ESPN tweets it, and then SportsCenter puts it on their show. I'm thinking, okay, Shams wasn't hacked. This is real, and this was initially my reaction. That's not a happy face. That is a Warriors fan who's trying to laugh to keep from crying. I'm just going to say that on the front end because it was truly shocking. So we'll start from the Dallas side and then go to the Lakers side. So for Dallas, because I think that's who most people are focusing on. Yes, we'll talk about it, and time will go on. Luka, what's he going to be as a Laker? We'll get to that, and obviously that will materialize. For the Dallas Mavericks in the here and now, we've gotten a mix of reports talking about how this is one of two things, or actually both, maybe one playing into another. That the Mavs are concerned about Luka's conditioning, how well he's taking care of his body. We know Luka is not a guy who necessarily takes care of his body that well as it relates to his diet. So that's on the board. And reportedly, that's why the Dallas Mavericks did not want to give him this summer a 5-year, $345 million Supermax. That would make him the highest paid player in the history of the National Basketball Association. And now because of this trade, the most of the Los Angeles Lakers can give him is $229 million, which, isn't exactly pocket change, to say the least. But still, Luka lost $160 million with this trade. And by the way, and then some, given that he's now moved from Texas to California with state taxes and all that. My question is, or my first of many, many questions for the Dallas Mavericks, some of which we won't have time to get into this segment, is if Luka Doncic is not worth the Supermax, please tell me who is. Please tell me. I think if I had to list guys who I think are as or more deserving than Luka, it's two guys I think are more deserving, one guy who is as deserving. The two guys who are more deserving are the two guys I think are better. Nikola Jokic, who I think is the best player in the world, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Only guy that I think is equivalent or as deserving of the Supermax as Luka. And the here and now is SGA. Steph Curry's not worth it. 5 years from now, Steph Curry's going to be 42 years old. LeBron James will be long gone out of the NBA in 5 years. Kevin Durant, potentially so. Like, if he's not worth it, Will Bryson. I mean, the reports say he came up out of shape, 270 pounds. He's not in pro basketball playing shape. Okay, for the sake of argument, let's say that's correct. Didn't seem to hurt him that much on the floor because this is what the Dallas Mavericks just traded. 28 a game, 8.7 rebounds. We can actually show you a better version of this graphic. 28 points per game, which, by the way, is third all-time in NBA history behind Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain. I heard they were good. Didn't get to see him play growing up, but I heard they were good. 8.7 rebounds, 8.3 assists, and shot 47% for the field, which as a perimeter player is pretty darn strong. And I saw another report. There was a guy in Cleveland, a Cavs reporter, who put this out there based on people he talked to. He said, listen, there's some concern that Luka's lack of attention to detail as it relates to his body is going to turn him into Joel Embiid. Right? Like Joel Embiid, the big concern is, hey, doesn't take care of his body, and it's now materialized. Okay, there's so much wrong. If that's indeed true, if that was what was going through the thought process of Nico Harrison, and it seems like only Nico Harrison, based on what we're hearing out of Dallas, this was his call and his call only. He said himself the owner laughed at him when he was when this trade was proposed. There's so much wrong with this. Luka's 6'7", and Joel Embiid is 7'2". So there's that. 7-footers outside of Kevin Durant don't age that well, and KD is a perimeter player. The second part of that is Joel Embiid's missed about 47% of his career due to injuries. Luka Doncic has missed 22%. So it's not even remotely comparable. And number 3, and most importantly in my mind, is Joel's lack of attention to detail as it relates to taking care of his body has been a big reason he has not showed up in the playoffs. As I have beat this drum for years on the show, Joel Embiid is the only MVP in the history of the NBA to have never made a conference finals. Luka Doncic is not an MVP. I think it's safe to say he'll get one at some point. Not this season because he's missed far too many games. But Luka in the playoffs, I always say about the playoffs, folks, when it comes to my superstars, I want you to maintain your level of greatness going into the postseason. If you can do that, I'm happy. If you are what you've been the majority of the season, got no problem with that. If you come up short of that, we still have to start asking questions. But there's the rare athlete. Mahomes does this. Michael Jordan did this. Tom Brady did this. LeBron James has done this. There's the rare athlete that elevates when the postseason rolls around. And Luka Doncic is in that category. Can we show you his postseason numbers? Because he is simply outstanding. 30 a game, which, by the way, second all-time behind Michael Jordan in that regard in the postseason. 9.4 rebounds, 8 assists, 46% for the field. He's gone to 2 conference finals and 1 NBA finals. And by the way, he has not turned 26 yet. And the Mavericks just traded that for Anthony Davis, which, listen, as the old saying goes in the NBA, and what makes, to me, for Dallas, just so much sense about this trade is they traded a guy who they have conditioning and injury concerns over for an older guy who has conditioning problems or has had them and has injury concerns in the here and now. That makes all the sense in the world. And the question I have to ask Dallas, too, is, why were you in a rush? Because listen, this is Luka Doncic we're talking about. This is bare minimum one of the 5 best basketball players on the face of the earth. But, so he's going to have his suitors. Is it possible maybe you'd have more suitors or get a better package if you extend him in the offseason, and then you put him up with the opportunity to get traded and get a better package? Why was it only the Lakers that the Mavericks called? Because people are like, people have hit me up personally, like, oh, Bryson, you've been hard on Pelinka. You got to, what did Pelinka do? Rob Pelinka's job here, the best thing he did was pick up the phone. And Nico Harrison called him. And reportedly, according to Nico, Rob Pelinka was like, you're kidding, right? Like, are you being serious right now? You're offering this guy? You want to trade this guy to us? Okay. Yeah, and we get to keep Dalton Connect and Austin Reeves and some of our potential future pieces that could be, good with Luka to potentially contend for championships in the future. Or we could turn those trade assets into a big. Maybe go out and get Miles Turner from the Pacers. Feel like the Lakers have gone after him for 3-4 years. So from Dallas's perspective, it's an abomination of a trade. Listen, Dallas is a good basketball team today. A team with Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis leading the show. Great. You know what the problem with both those two guys are? They've done, as it relates to the postseason, absolutely positively nothing as the number 1 option in their careers, which Kyrie is going to be the number 1 on-ball option. Anthony Davis is certainly the best player because of what he gives you on both ends. But Anthony Davis won 1 playoff series as the man in New Orleans before he got to Los Angeles. And Kyrie Irving won 1 playoff series as the man with the Boston Celtics. So, again, I simply ask, from Dallas' perspective, what? Because I've heard the Mavericks say, hey, we think this gives us a better chance to win. Better? Better? Yeah, you better hope it gives you a better chance to win, because you guys have like a 3-year window, because Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis are around the same age, 32, 33 years old. You've got about a 3-year window, and the Lakers have like a 10-year one. So the math is already not on your side that much. And so for Dallas, nothing about it makes sense. And it's, again, I repeat it again, it's the most stunning transaction I've ever seen in my life in sports. Certainly in the NBA, folks will say, oh, well, what about LeBron to the Heat? I don't know. We knew he'd talk to the Heat. No one thought he'd go there, but he talked to Miami. It was on the board he could go to the Heat. KD to the Warriors. KD literally, we knew very well that KD talked to Warriors. Again, we didn't think he'd actually go there. It was surprising. As a Warriors fan, I was shocked and elated. But he talked to the Warriors. There was no inkling of this. There were no rumors. LeBron didn't know. AD didn't know. Luka didn't know. Luka reportedly, according to Chandler Parsons, who knows Luka apparently cried when he heard the news for a number of reasons. And so, listen, for Dallas, it's again, I repeat it again, it's an abomination of a trade. It's the worst trade, I think, made in sports since a trade involving my favorite baseball team, the Boston Red Sox, moving Mookie Betts for nothing. It's that bad. Now, again, Dallas did not get nothing. They got Anthony freaking Davis for about 2 to 3 years. It doesn't make sense. For the Lakers on the other side of things, listen, first of all, it's like this. I'm going to repeat what I said about Pelinka. I'm not going to give Rob Pelinka credit for doing the single most obvious thing ever. That'd be like if the Denver Nuggets called the Orlando Magic and said, hey, you want to swap Paolo for Jokic? I'm a Paolo guy, but come on now. This is Jokic. Jokic is the best player in basketball, my man. No lower than number 2 in the eyes of many. And so you have that component onto it. What is Luka going to do as a member of the Dallas Mavericks? The Los Angeles Lakers. I think this obviously ensures, okay, this is the face of our franchise. LeBron is no longer the face of the Lakers, nor is he the best player in the Lakers. This, I think, is the first time in LeBron James's adult life, heck, even adolescent life, that he has played on a basketball team and he's not the best player. He's not. LeBron's still awesome. We saw what he did in the Garden literally the night of the trade. He was tremendous. But Luka can simply do more things at a more efficient level, but at a higher level, more consistently than LeBron can. And so you have that component onto it. So what does that mean for LeBron? I have speculated on this show. I think next year, I've said this for about 6 months now, I think next season, year 23, will be the final year LeBron James suits up in an NBA uniform. That could be this year. Maybe this trade fast tracks it. I doubt LeBron is going to spend the last however much longer is left in the Lakers season, 2 months, 3 months. If the Lakers have it their way, 4 months, thinking about this as he's going through the season in pursuit of what could potentially be a championship contending year for the Lakers. As of right now, I don't think they can contend for a title because they have literally no defense. People talk about, obviously, Anthony Davis. Duh. We know what he gives to the defensive end. You can make a case he's the best defensive player in basketball still. Max Christie could defend the perimeter now. Max Christie was a good defender that they moved on from. And so is LeBron their best? Because, listen, I'm a Tennessee guy. I love me some Dalton Knecht. Dalton Knecht couldn't defend me. Well, he could probably defend me. He's not a good defender. Austin Reeves, not a good defender. LeBron, in spurts, Luka, that's the hole in his game. Luka simply, not only that he can't play defense, he straight up doesn't play defense. That's just not his. That's not his MO. And so, listen, I think it is for the Los Angeles Lakers. Again, this ensures that they're contenders for the next decade. What it's going to be is when LeBron is. Listen, I'll say this: I don't think LeBron is a Laker in 5 months. I really don't, because I think at this point, I think Cleveland is on the board. My man Mike Guida, who's a Cavs fan, has suggested, hey, why won't LeBron finish his career in Cleveland? Is Cleveland ever a more attractive destination than now? My goodness. If Cleveland were to go to the conference finals or something, and they'd be like, man, there's LeBron retirement press tour, yeah, but does he give us a better chance to compete next year? Darn right he does. And so could he return to Cleveland? The Knicks could be a potential option. I'm going to talk about it at the end of the show. The Warriors, I think, are on the board. I think LeBron is going to, and he loves the Lakers. We know he loves living in L.A., got a lot of business in L.A. I think he's going to retire in L.A., not as a Laker, but in the city of Angels. That's his home now. I just don't see the benefit of playing with a guy. It's not a personal disdain because LeBron actually is a fan of Luka, said he wants to play with Luka. I just don't know how they fit together. Kyrie Irving does fit well with Luka because Kyrie can play off the ball. There's a lot of guys. I don't think this will happen, but a Kevin Durant, for example. Like Kevin Durant would fit well with Luka. Steph Curry fits with basically anybody, but he would fit with Luka. These are two on-ball dominant guys that, I mean, what's LeBron going to do? Stand in the court? I mean, LeBron could play power forward, I guess, but I don't think you're getting the best LeBron James if that's the case. And Luka certainly is not going to be a spot-up shooter. He's not that good of a three-point shooter to begin with. He's like a mid-30% guy. So, the fit perspective, listen, everybody discussing, what are the Lakers going to be the rest of the season? Honestly, I'm not a Laker fan. Lord knows I'm not a Lakers fan. If I were one, I wouldn't really care, to be honest with you. If we go on in the first or second round, okay. We got Luka for 10 years. We're good. LeBron, you got us a title. Thanks, man. We're going to retire your jersey. Go pursue excellence somewhere else. Like, this is Luka's franchise now. It's JJ Redick's franchise as well as the new head coach. I think JJ's done a very good job so far, as I thought he would with what he had. So, listen, it's remarkable that the Lakers, be it by luck, be it by organizational brilliance, somehow consistently land not stars, not even superstars, but the apex guys in the league. It was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when they made the move for him in the mid-1970s. It was drafting Magic Johnson, the first overall pick. It was in 1979. It was the late greats, the greatest executive in the history of basketball. Oh, and by the way, he was a pretty good player as well. Jerry West, having the foresight to see, this 17-year-old Kobe Bryant, we got something here. I'm going to trade with Charlotte and bring him in as a member of this team. And yeah, we saw that pan out. Kobe was amazing. With Shaquille O'Neal, getting Shaquille O'Neal, obviously bringing him in free agency, trading for Pau Gasol, and helping Kobe Bryant get 2 more titles in 2009 and 2010 with the finals appearance in 2008. Getting LeBron James, despite what was at the time a disastrous situation in Los Angeles, with some of the missed draft picks, with the organizational, jumbled up mess with the Buss family and the Rambuses, and they somehow managed to get LeBron James. They get Anthony Davis. Now they literally just step into Nico Harrison. Hey, y'all want Luka? Yeah. We'd like Luka. We wouldn't mind to take a flyer on that guy. He's pretty good. And so, listen, I guess this is just a reinforcement of what has been a reality in the NBA for 5+ decades. The Lakers get all the best players. By the way, it's up to the rest of the NBA to compete. It's up to Boston, Oklahoma City, Houston, as they continue to mature and improve. Hopefully at some point, Golden State to compete with this team moving forward. And so, yeah, I thought the Lakers would kind of go back into being the Drubs of the NBA once LeBron James retired, because I didn't think Anthony Davis could have carried them as number one option, certainly at that stage of his career. So I don't think Dallas is going to work that well. It'll be successful. They'll be fine. They may win a playoff series, but I don't think it'll go much further than that. And they stumble into what is the most shocking sports transaction I've ever seen in my life. Because some people talk about, wait, man, Brady to the Buccaneers was shocking. No, it wasn't. It was kind of surprising when I saw the notification on my phone 5 years ago that Brady was going to Tampa. I was like, oh, Tampa? That's kind of weird. Seeing Brady in New England for as long as we saw him, and it's like, man, he kind of looks weird with a pirate flag on his helmet. But the fit made sense. It had been on the board that Tom was going to Tampa. LeBron had conversations with Miami. Katie had conversations with Golden State, and those were free agent moves. It's like the Cavs traded LeBron. That would have been different. It'd been like if the Cavs traded LeBron and not told anybody. That's the part I still can't get through my head, is all of this happened totally behind the scenes. It's remarkable. It really, really is. Real quick, before we move to De'Aaron Fox, there are a couple of bits of stuff on Luka that I did want to touch on super fast. So as sort of like a nail in the coffin on this is who the Mavs just traded. If we could pull up this one graphic, because we talk about, Luka's great. I don't think we put into context how much the dude has already accomplished so early into his career. So he's 7 years in. This is 7th year in the NBA. I want to put up this one graphic real quick. Let's show this right here. Luka Doncic has been named first-team All-NBA 5 times. That's more than Steph Curry, Nikola Jokic, Kevin Garnett, Allen Iverson, and Dwayne Wade. More first-team All-NBAs than those guys. Now, 2 of them are still playing in Steph Curry and Jokic. Steph is at more to the end of the right line than Jokic is. But it just kind of puts into context what this guy has already done. I can't believe it. It's like, well, he was overweight. I don't know. He was given every team buckets at will when he was overweight. So I don't know. By the way, I saw the video. Did you see the video of him getting off the plane in LA? That's the skinniest 270-pound guy I've ever seen in my life. I don't listen. I'm not saying Dallas is lying. I'm just saying that's something that a lying team would say. And then the last thing I wanted to say on Luka, then I promise we'll move to De'Aaron Fox and the Spurs and get on with our show. But last thing I want to say is anytime I'll ever hear again about anytime people will say, oh, these players are not loyal to their franchises, or oh, how dare they want to go to another team in pursuit of winning. If any, not necessarily even fans, but if any front office, if any owner, GM, whatever, demands loyalty from players, the players should respond, you first. Given what Luka gave this franchise, given what AD gave the Lakers, and they don't tell him, heck, given what LeBron did for the Lakers, won a title in the middle of COVID, after the tragic passing of Kobe, 2 years after the signing, and you don't tell the guy? You don't tell AD, who's the one getting moves? You don't tell Luka if you're the Mavs? Man, get out of here with loyal. Listen, players can be loyal when the owners and GMs are. That's because if we're gonna be mad at one side, let's keep it real on both sides of that coin. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.